Hey guys, Michael here with Hello Cupcake It's Me, and today is December 2nd, and we are quickly approaching Christmas, and I am freaking the heck out right now. Um, just way too much going on. I'm not as stressed out as I was last year around this time, but still, nonetheless, uh, it is what it is. I'm doing my best, and if I'm able to get something for everyone and put it under the tree, awesome. If not, awesome. At least I tried. But I'm also extremely geeking out right now because that just happened. I got to see Santa Claus. I know. I'm freaking 38 years old, still geeking out over the fact that I got to see Santa, but it's that childhood, and wonderment, and I was just, really super, happy, and I know that it's not the real Santa Claus or whatever else, but it was still just one of those, oh my gosh, So, I'm not according to my friends and family, I'm not allowed to go to the mall Santas. So when I saw him walking around the store that I was in, I was like, can I please take a selfie with you? And he was really generous and just kind-hearted and said yeah, and gave me a candy cane and said, have you been a good boy this year? And I was like, yes, Santa, I have. He's like, well, get your list in because I need to know what to bring you. And, just kind of oh. And so I was just I don't know, just kind of geeky, and it made my whole day a lot better. Not that it was bad to begin with, it just, that little extra, thank you for being a decent human and going out and bringing joy to people. Even if you don't celebrate Christmas or whatever, it's still an awesome thing for someone to do. And last year I actually played Santa with a girlfriend of mine. She was posting that her kids were just acting up or whatever, and I told her, I said, why don't you have them call Santa, and Santa will, tell them you need to listen to your mom and dad or whatever. So she called me up one day, just I could hear the anger and frustration in her voice. She's all, hi, Santa. And I was like, okay, I know what's going on. And she's like, you need to have a talk to the kids. And I'm not going to say their names because I don't have her permission to really tell the kids' names, let alone her name. But so I got on there, I was like, ho, ho, ho. Now listen here, little boy. You need to listen to your mom and dad, and blah, blah, blah. And I went through the whole spiel, and sorry, Santa, and and it took everything I could to keep from laughing. I actually had to put the phone on mute so that I could laugh. But she sent me a text message after it was all said and done, and she's like, oh my god, it was like a complete turnaround. He went in and he cleaned his room. The other kids, they did this and that and the other thing. I was like, you know what? Call me whenever you need to. It doesn't matter if it's the middle of summer, so I just got a kick out of that. And Christmas has always been one of those magical times for me. Growing up, my family was really poor, and both parents were drug users, and my dad, he always tried to provide a family life, and he always tried to put the family first and then his addiction second. Sometimes it didn't work out that way. He would put his addiction first, but 9 times out of 10, he would always try to put his addiction second and the family first. And there was a time when he didn't have a job, my biological mother didn't have a job, and our family had to come together, and they gave us something like $10,000 or something like that. And all all the rest of the family were and are extremely hardworking people, and my dad he was up into like the day that he had to leave work for medical retirement purposes or whatever. So it was just like that, you know. Let's help them out or whatever. And it also, he was like the baby of the family, so everyone kind of felt responsible for him, even though he didn't like receiving handouts, and he was like really against people giving him handouts. Um, his exterior was extremely gruff and like, fuck you, don't look at me, you know. But deep down inside, he really had a heart of gold. And I think that that's where I get my caring, loving personality from, is that is that part of him. That and my grandmother. My grandmother was a huge, huge influence in my life. And so when she passed away, like, part of my heart and part of my soul died, because she was my confidant. I used to call her up in the middle of the night, just like, Grandma, I'm sorry, but this is what's going on. I needed someone to talk to. And she got to the point where she would do that with me as well. And I would tell her, I'm like, I'm sorry. So we went back and forth with each other, and a lot of healing has happened, because before, I wouldn't even be able to talk about her and her passing without like really breaking down. And I'm emotional about it, but thankfully I'm not crying right now. Well, I guess not thankfully, but that's not what this video is about. So I'm not going to harp on that. But anyways, so I try to give of myself. And when I used to live in California, and before I had my house fire back in 2003 and everything, I was that stuck-up asshole that keeping up with the Joneses, label whore, and like, if I see it, I want it. If I see it, I like it, I want it, I buy it. That was my motto in life. Didn't matter if I had crippling debt or whatever else. Like, I would go out and pay $500 for a fucking backpack, just because it was cute and I liked it. Every pay period, I went out and spent $200 on DVDs. That was just the DVDs, not including all the other bullshit that I bought. So, when the house fire came through, and I lost everything except for a big leather-bound book that my mom and my dad gave me. When I refer to my mother, I'm talking about my stepmom, not my biological mother. My stepmother, in the 20 years that she's been in my life, has done more for me than my biological mother, and hasn't ever demanded anything of me like my biological mother has. And if you want me to get into that story, I will do so. Just put it in the comment section down below. Hey, Michael, talk about your family some. And I'll do a whole video about that. But anyways, so it was a big leather-bound book that my mom and dad gave me for my 17th or 18th birthday. I think it was my 18th birthday. And so the only thing that I was able to get out of the house was my niece, who at the time was like 2 or 3, her Stitch doll that I had bought her, Stitch from like Lilo and Stitch, and that was it. We lost our dog, because we took the dog from outside and put her in the garage, just to kind of get her away from the smoke, but the house was on fire at the time, and I wasn't able to get back in there to get her out of the garage. I actually ran back into the house and burnt my lungs doing so, to try to put out the fire with the garden hose, but it was just so hot that the water was turning to steam before it ever got out. So I lost my 3 rats, my tarantula, my crow. Yeah, I had a crow. I had a possum, 3 cats, and the dog. The 3 cats made it out. They had burns on their paws, and parts of their body had burns and missing fur and stuff. They made it through, and we ended up giving them to a really lovely lady who was kind of part of the family, and they lived out good lives after that. But yeah, it was just so. Ever since that has happened, I have tried to be a very generous, very giving, very supportive type of person, because you really find out who your friends are when you're in a situation like that. And people that I considered acquaintances actually stepped up and did more for me than what actual friends and family members did. I know that it's not anyone's responsibility to help you out, but it was just like that spirit of community and of fellowship and brotherhood and let us do for you. And some of these people were hard pressed, to say the least. And so to have that kind of camaraderie come through and like set me up with a new set of clothes, new set of shoes, give me money out of their own pockets, and just, trying to be really good. That really opened my eyes and opened my heart, and I decided that I want to bless other people. Yeah, I go through this depressive spiral. I go through my bipolar moments and everything else where it's just like, you know what, fuck everyone. But at the end of the day, even if I'm super depressed, lethargic, not even able to get out of bed, let alone wanting to brush my hair or even brush my teeth, I will still put myself out to help a friend and then deal with whatever I have going on later on in life. So I try to live as a part of the community, not a part of apart from the community. And that's been a really big thing in my life lately, is trying to give back to other people. Even though I received Section 8, no. Even though I receive Social Security and am on disability and disabled and stuff like that, I try to be the resource person for people. If I don't have it to give to you, I find a way for you to get it. A friend of mine just this morning called me over for coffee, and I said, okay, I'm not doing anything else. I had just gotten out of the shower and was going to go into town and whatever, so I made a detour, went over and had coffee with them. Well, comes to find out, she knows 2 people that that need jobs and need help and needed resources, and she just didn't know where to turn or what have you. And I was like, hey, go talk to da-da-da-da-da, because they have this position open and they have that position open and blah, 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 blah. And I was able to help with a resource and pass that blessing of knowledge along. And, I don't know if the other people actually utilized it, but I am a networking person. I know a wide gambit of people, from the lonely homeless person to executive attorneys for like MGM type situation. Or I have access to those type of people, like by 6 degrees of separation. 9 times out of 10, that 6 degrees of separation is one person. And that one person is a family member or a really good friend that I can ask of them to provide that for me. So, anyways, that's how I try to give back to people. Oh, hey, you're homeless or you're getting ready to lose out on XYZ. Here, call this person, ask for this department, tell them about this, that, or the other thing. So I try to pass along resource information. Just recently, I may have mentioned in one of my other videos, I am putting together bags for the homeless, and I'm hoping to be able to start giving those out next week or the week of the 15th. I'm still trying to get a few more things together, and it's nothing big or grandeur. It's like a shaving or some razors, a little bar of hands, like a little bar soap that you get at like motels or hotels, some lotion, some sanitary wipes. I've gone out and bought tampons and maxi pads, toothbrushes, some toothpaste, the dental floss picks, and like a few other things like that out of my own pocket, because I'm feeling called to do that right now. And I've had some local stores donate stuff to me. I had one store donate 280 razors. I had a hotel donate a big bag of supplies. I had a dental office supply me with a couple of toothbrushes, a few things of toothpaste, and some dental floss. I've had my friends donate their old purses and makeup bags from Ipsy. I had another friend who watched another video of mine who called me up the other day and offered to send me some cash or to make a purchase online. So I sent them, they have my email address, but I also sent them my login information for the dollar store, and just told them anything that you can afford to get on the dollar store, from the dollar store, don't pay for shipping, just have it sent to the store, and I will make sure that I can pick it up from the store. My sister now lives like basically next door to a Dollar Tree, and so I was like, send it to this store here, and I can have my sister pick it up and bring it to me on her way to work, since she works like a couple of miles from my house, and we typically meet up like once or twice a week anyways. So yeah. And there's also, this is going to be a not so popular thing with probably 90% of the people who watch this video, but I'm also going to distribute clean needles to some of the homeless people. I've had friends and family members who were intravenous drug users, and a couple of them have my father, he was an intravenous drug user when he was younger, and he got hepatitis C, and I have another cousin who recently contracted AIDS, and then I have another cousin who I think has Hep C, but actually, I don't know if that cousin has Hep C or not, but I know that they were an intravenous drug user at one time, and I used to provide them with clean needles when I was a kid, because I would take them from my dad and from my grandparents and take them home after I got done visiting my dad, and give them to my cousin, so that they would have clean needles. And yeah, it's an enabling thing or whatever, but I found out that there's a clean needle exchange every Tuesday or Wednesday at the public health department. No questions asked. So I have probably 800 needles and I just from my own personal stash from being diabetic and stuff like that. So I'm thinking that I may go ahead and offer those up to the people who could use them or what have you. Um, and I don't need any negative comments on this video or whatever. So if you agree with it, cool. If you don't agree with it, cool. Keep it moving. Don't troll me. I don't give a damn. Basically, is how that plays out. But yeah, so the other part of this video that I really wanted to talk to you guys about, and I really got off the topic. I had a kind of a negative interaction with my friend. She's been looking for a place to move for the last couple of years, and she had a really amazing place lined up. She wasn't going to have to pay the full first, last, and deposit and all that other stuff. The landlords were going to work with her and all this other stuff. We went there, we looked at the place. It was gorgeous, beautiful 2-bedroom, 1 bath, spacious, open concept living room, kitchen, dining room situation. Stop. Sorry, that's my cat scratching and making all kinds of noise. So she had that place. It was like a godsend. She was like, yay, you know, whatever. And after we got done with that place, she got a call for this other place. And it's a standalone house, 2-bedroom, 1 bath situation. I think it's 2-bedroom, 1 bath. I don't know. Anyways, she has decided to put all of her eggs into one basket, completely poo-pooed on this other location, the one that we both really liked. And everything was amazing with this place. It was right down the street from the Dollar Tree, like literally a block away. There was a Kroger, a Taco Bell, a mile and a half to Walmart, grocery outlet, Ulta, Michaels, Ross, Home Depot, the whole 9 yards. And then only a block or two away from this amazing park. And kind of just checked all the boxes. She wanted to be in a nice neighborhood, and she wanted to be able to decorate for Halloween and do trick-or-treating and this, that, and the other thing. And anyways, long story short, she's chose to take this other place, the standalone structure, and the other place that I was just talking about, not the standalone structure, was kind of like a duplex apartment type situation. Her landlords would be living above her, and she would have the whole reign of the furnished downstairs. So, anyways, she hasn't even had the place inspected yet because she's on Section 8 and she has to get approval and stuff, but she hasn't even had the place inspected yet. She's gone through and told her landlord, where she's currently at, that she will be moving out, and that she plans on being out by the 28th of December. She doesn't have any of the money secured for first, last, or moving costs and fees. She wants me to come over and help her on the 21st to move boxes into the place. And I'm like, has it even been inspected? Do you have the money situated? Like, why are you asking me to do something when you don't have all your ducks in a row? The ducks aren't even in the pond yet. You know, it still has to be approved and all that other stuff. And being the end of the year and last quarter, there's tons of paperwork that the Housing Authority has to go through. There's tons of paperwork that has to be done. You're going to be asking Catholic Charities for help to move, And this time of year is hit hard because you have the holidays and Toys for Tots and so on and so forth. And trying to, are asking or expecting people to help move you on the 28th of December is ludicrous. I mean, this friend doesn't have any family per se. And it's like, you don't understand. People's friends and family are in from out of state for the holidays. They're not going to want to take time out of their schedule and their holiday festivities to go do some slave labor for you. That's unfair for you to ask and assume. And so we had this little, like, argument discussion about it, and she's like, well, you know what, sometimes family has to take a back seat, because isn't that the whole spirit of Christmas, is the spirit of giving? Yes and no. You know, people plan months in advance for their holidays, and you know, if they work or whatever else, they've taken time off of their jobs, they've taken time out of their lives to celebrate the holidays however they see fit, and to just automatically assume that that is what is going to happen, and that you are going to somehow magically make them take this time off, or you gave that. They ended up giving, this friend ended up giving everyone like a schoolyard ultimatum, basically, or at least that was in the text to me, that if they didn't want to help, then fuck them, she doesn't need those type of people in her life. No, that's not how that works. That's not how any of this works. I'm just like, I understand the law of attraction and speaking things into existence and this, that, and the other thing, but you are seeing this as a gift from the universe, when the place that you turned down, I believe, was the gift and the better of the two options for you, because you're complaining all the time about how old your car is, how you hate to drive out of town to go to shopping, how you hate the area, so on and so forth. I'm like, so in my personal opinion, that was your gift. That was the answer from the universe, God, whatever you want to call it. That was the door that opened and led you into this nirvana type of a state. But now you had this other choice given to you, and you went for door B, not knowing what was behind door B. Door A had all of that available to her, ready to move in. Landlords were going to give her until January 15th to move in, all this other stuff. It just seemed like the better of the two choices, honestly, is what it boiled down to. But it's not my life to live. It's theirs, and it's on them. But I just, you know, I told her, I will help you as much as possible on the days that I'm able to help you. But don't expect me to commit to something when it's not written in stone. I'm not going to tell you, yes, I will do XYZ, and XYZ not be able to be done because of whatever reason. So, I'm just frustrated and had to vent and get that out, and my camera is flashing the dead battery icon. So I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm sorry for blah blah and y'all's ears off. I know this is going over 30 minutes, so if you watched it this far, thank you so much. Put your questions, comments, concerns in the comment section down below. If you haven't done so already, please hit like and subscribe and the little bell icon so you're notified when I upload a new video, and follow me on social media. Michael Scott Peterson for Instagram, Hello Cupcake It's Me.com is the blog. Follow me on Twitter, Hello Cupcake, the number 4 and the letter U, and that is all. So I will see you all next time. Bye, guys.